Hey everybody, this is going to be kind of a rough video because I'm just kind of propping my phone up on some stuff. So anyways, a friend of mine, that doesn't need to be there anymore, a friend of mine wanted to know what I do for my everyday morning smoothie that I make for breakfast every day. So I figured I would go ahead and make a video to show you exactly what goes in it and how I have everything structured to make it easier and faster for me to get this done. So we have our NutriBullet cup right here. There's our max line right there. We're not going to go above that. We have chia seed here in a little container that suctions closed to keep it nice and fresh. Keep that in the cupboard, whatever that thing is. Got my bag of unroasted, unsalted cashews. Also unroasted, unsalted almonds. I don't know if you roast and salt those or not. Whey protein, not flavored, just standard whey protein. That's mostly for the texture. Yeah, I get protein out of it too, and that's cool, but I'm really doing it for the texture. We got our triple cleaned, so I don't have to hand wash it, baby kale. I like this a lot better than putting romaine in. Romaine kind of gives the smoothies a taste that I just don't really like. The baby kale is pretty good. I like to eat it raw. My daughter likes to eat it raw. That's a little weird, but hey, cool. We've got our blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, and some cranberries of questionable age. So we'll be doing the bounce test on them before we put them in. Okay, so here's how I start. I've got my measuring cups. And we're going to start with a cup. No, we're not. We're going to start with the strawberries just because that's easiest. And everything that I put in there for the fruits side of things is going to be a half a cup each. So I got our strawberries here. Just going to pull the tops off. I used to cut the tops off of these. I don't do that anymore because I found out that I don't care. So I'm just going to take the tops off here and get about a half a cup. If you go a little over, that's fine because the best part of the flavor of this, I think, is the strawberries. So there can be too many, but if we just get a little over, that's not a big deal. So here's our strawberries. Wow, that's done. Put the lid back on that. I'm going to do a half cup of blueberries, and we can do that simply by just grabbing a big handful here and just kind of work my fingers in there so I'm not squishing them. Pour them in there. Half a cup, roughly. Doesn't have to be perfect. Throw that in there. That's done. Okay, moving on to the blackberries. Blackberries mold very fast, so this is probably the lengthier part because I visually inspect each one before I throw it in. Once again, that's going to be a half a cup of blackberries, and I chose blackberries because they are my favorite berry, quite possibly my favorite fruit, and I'm sure they've got some good stuff in there too. So, all healthy stuff. Yum. Now, the exception to this is going to be the cranberries. I don't put a whole lot of those in there. You can decide how many you want to put in individually. Cranberries are good for you in that they have antiseptic properties. So, cranberry juice has been known as a preventative for, say, like bladder infections and things like that, and just generally a good thing to have in your system to prevent infections of all types. I tend to put, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I tend to put about 5 or 6 in there. I think it adds a good flavor. A whole lot more than that, and it really starts to be really kind of tangy and tart. And if you like that, cool. If you don't, 4 maybe would work for you to get some benefit out of the cranberries without really over flavoring it. Okay, so then I like to go straight to the kale, and I do this because if you pour in the chia seed and it gets down to the bottom, it has a tendency to stick to the cup and then not get blended in. And that's a pain because now you're not getting the benefits out of that, but then you also have to try to clean that off the bottom. And that's not easy. So the kale provides a barrier, and I'm just going to go ahead and shove a cup full in here. The more the better. There we go. And so once I pour all this other stuff in here, the chia seeds won't be able to get down to the bottom. And that's done. That's the kale. That's finished. Now for the nuts, too many cashews will give it sort of a frothy consistency, and I don't really like almonds, but they're good for you, so too many of those and it tastes like almonds. So I take my 1/4 cup here, and I put in about half of it almonds and half of it cashews, and that's a pretty good energy boost there, I think. You're getting some good stuff from that. You don't really need too much of the nuts to go in your smoothies. Okay, I'm going to throw one more in there for good measure, and boop, done. Looks like I'm going to need to get some more. I already did that. Okay. Now, for the whey protein, I don't put in a lot. This is my tablespoon. I just kind of scoop it in there, make it flat. You can see it's flat. I usually don't have a gap there, but I'm being a little quicker than usual for the video. And it doesn't really matter. So, and then I've got a half a tablespoon scoop in here, so I can just scoop that up. And if it's more than half a tablespoon, that's fine. A full tablespoon will give you pretty much all of what you need out of chia seeds for your daily allotment. I don't remember what that is off the top of my head, but half a tablespoon is good, especially considering you're getting all of this other stuff too. And that's it. I mean, that's our smoothie right there. We've got everything in there. We just throw our cap on there, stick it in the fridge, and then in the morning I add the water so that it doesn't have a chance for the chia seeds to soak in and get stuck to the walls. I throw in some ice. Now my refrigerator does shaved ice, but you don't have to shave the ice. Just throw some ice cubes in here. Don't fill it too much, maybe like 3 ice cubes. And they'll get chopped up, and that'll make the smoothie nice and cold and give it a good flavor and texture. For the water, I usually fill to where just the bottom of the kale in here in this configuration here is in the water. More than that, and it's less of a smoothie and more of a water with like pureed fruit guts in it, and that's not so good. But less than that, and then you have this really thick thing. So I like to get it right at the bottom of the kale, and that's just the right consistency for me. The cool thing about that is once you're done blending this, you take this off and throw on whichever one of these lids you want. You can drink it with a straw, a little flimsy, cheap plastic disposable straw. And that's how I drink it now. I used to drink it just by drinking it, but got tired of getting fruits and vegetable stuff in my mustache, you know, when I have a mustache because I'm too lazy to shave. But anyways, so that's my every morning smoothie. Once in a while I will change it up and throw something else in there, but this is what I just really like, and so I don't have to think about what am I going to put in there today. That's my default. And I feel absolutely phenomenal for the rest of the day. The nutrients in this and the just the healthy properties of them have really made a difference. When I was eating cereal, it didn't matter if it was a healthy cereal or a crappy cereal. I didn't feel good. My body was dragging. My muscles were aching. I felt like I was like 60 years old. I'm 33 right now. And since I've started doing this in the morning every morning instead of that or whatever else I would have for breakfast, my whole life has just completely turned around. I'm happier, I'm healthier, I'm more motivated. So yeah, it's just a good thing to do this smoothie in the morning every day. Or at least, if you can't do it every day, a couple of days a week. But honestly, it doesn't take long to do this. And then washing it out when I get to work, because I'm drinking the smoothie on my way to work, and just rinse it out in the sink, wipe it clean with a paper towel, and it's pretty much good to go for the next day. It takes me, 2 minutes to do that. So not a big deal in terms of cleaning. And then when I'm done blending it, I just take the cap off, run it under the water to rinse off the stuff, and set it aside for the next day. I don't even have to throw it in the dishwasher or really scrub it or anything. The stuff comes right off and you're good to go. So it's fast, it's easy, it's convenient, and you get so much out of it. I absolutely 100% recommend this. So anyways, that's the video for today, and I'll see you guys whenever I have an excuse to make another video. Peace.